And welcome to the NFL Today on YouTube as we talk about the competitive play with postseason aspirations in mind. JB along with Coach Nate and Matt. You know, I use the expression that these teams are playing like their hair is on fire, and the Bills, no matter how ugly it looked, they got it done today.
I don't know if it's ugly. I think it's a style of play that they've adopted to and they've embraced.
Coach loves that style.
You know what? It fits their personality. It fits the personality of their quarterback. It fits the personality of what do you do that can give you help to a defense that at times looks like it does have some weaknesses. It's called ball possession. It's taking care of the football. Josh Allen, when he does not turn the football over, they don't lose. And I think he feels like he's got enough people around him. Obviously, Dalvin Cook with the way he's playing. And I think even defensively, they're starting to find a little bit of an identity. I think you're going to see a team that's going to blitz a little bit more, be a little bit more aggressive, be a little more dictating on that side of the ball, just like they are on the offensive side of the ball. Again, you get a team like this, you get into the fourth quarter of games, second half of games. The second half of games, no offense has scored more points in the National Football League than the Buffalo Bills. So they know when to turn it on. They got a quarterback that can do it in crunch time.
I think, you know, you look at this game, too, and we say, did they win ugly? They won. And ultimately, that's all that matters. But good football teams know how to win different types of fights, different types of games.
Yeah.
And they can get into lots of different styles of play and find a way to get it done. I think that's one of the strengths of Sean McDermott as their head coach. He's been experienced. He's been around. He's leaned on the defense. He's leaned on a quarterback. He's leaned on the run game. They lean on a lot of different things at different times, and they call on different players to step up and go make plays for them in critical situations. I view that as an advantage for the Bills. You talk about the week before having to come back and play offensive football to get them back into a game, rely on Josh Allen running, throwing, doing all of those things. Cleveland makes games muddy for you. Yeah. They have done that against teams all year, but they found a way. Only 19 pass attempts for Josh. I think that's a really good thing because in the playoffs, you don't know how these games are going to shake out. You don't know what your matchups are going to be. You're going to have to play different styles of games, and you just have to find a way. I think this is really encouraging for the Buffalo Bills.
Yeah, I like it. I like the way that they play, the style in which they play on offense. I mean, they run their pass game through their tight ends, which is unique, but they have one of the most talented tight end groups in the business. But James Cook, like you said, he's one of the best in the business. And just take a look at, you know, what he does and how they use him. This is old school, pitch right, and just check out his vision. I want you to pay attention to his eyes inside the helmet. He's always looking for that next defender to shake and the next lane to attack. And he has the speed, the explosiveness, and also the patience. When they get near the goal line, you can hand the ball off to him, and he can be patient enough and explosive enough to get into the end zone. Another 100-yard performance for him. You know, but Coach, you mentioned blitzing more, and I find that fascinating because, you know, you blitz a young guy like Shedeur Sanders, right? You're supposed to.
Yeah.
A rookie out there, you heat it up, especially in moments where he starts to feel a little bit comfortable, because we saw some good moments from him this year, in this game. But what they did was they showed that defense can be ultra-aggressive. Right. And the reason I like you bringing that up is because if that might be an adaptation you will make defensively moving forward into the postseason, blitzing a quarterback looks different when you're facing Bo Nix, you know, maybe Drake May, Trevor Lawrence versus a Joe Burrow or a Patrick Mahomes.
That sounded like Vita when you said that.
A Joe Burrow. But the point I'm trying to make is, shout out to Vita that runs the floor around here. But the point I'm trying to make is, if not now for the Bills, then when? This is not an easy path, by no means. You're playing against some formidable opponents, but you're not playing against what we see and agree on as the best quarterbacks in the business, which is Patrick Mahomes and Joe Burrow.
Well, it's funny you say that because let's take a look at the last 6 playoff exits for the Buffalo Bills and who those quarterbacks were. Yeah. Kansas City Chiefs on there a lot. That's Patrick Mahomes.
Right.
Joe Burrow, as you like to say right there. Yeah, better than I do. So my accent was a little bit off. But Joe Burrow there in 2022.
Yeah.
But that 2019 one, and I know C.J. Stroud was not the quarterback, but the Houston Texans have had the Buffalo Bills number the last 2 times they played. Matchups are going to be massive. The seeding is going to matter because we're seeing this right now. You look at that Buffalo-Houston of what I mentioned. Yep. What about if the Chargers play the Jacksonville Jaguars?
We're not talking about
and we saw that a couple of weeks ago, and they went to Jacksonville, and they got dusted by the Jags. So the seeding and how it shakes out is going to matter a lot in terms of the matchups. One last thing on the Buffalo Bills. This team reminds me a lot of how the New England Patriots were built during their heyday. The pass game goes through what? Tight ends.
Big fellas.
They've got a slot receiver in Khalil Shakir that can win versus man-to-man coverage in critical third down situations. They adapt to the game plan that they have to play, much like New England did for a long time. And you've got a quarterback who seems to find ways at the end of games to figure out to do it. And then defensively, they might have a no-name defense. It might not be a star-studded defense, but you have a defensive head coach that understands what he needs to do defensively to beat the team that he needs to beat. I think that Buffalo organization looked at New England for a long time and said, that's a pretty good model for success.
Yeah. And there's two teams to me that I think that they're kind of going under the radar, so to speak. I look at the Jacksonville Jaguars. Talk about a defense that, number one, they can take the football away, number one against the rush.
Yeah.
Trevor Lawrence, 5 straight games of 2+ passing touchdowns. He's starting to use his feet more now, and he's starting to take control of an offense. That's a guy that's now matured. It's not Bo Nix. It's not Drake May, second year. How they respond in the playoffs.
Yeah, Trev's a vet.
He's been there.
Yes.
The other one, Justin Herbert. They've won 7 out of 8 games. And we keep talking about, they get their tackles back. But all of a sudden, Marion Hampton's there. They play defense as well as anybody in the National Football League. Justin Herbert, with his feet, with that group of receivers, Quentin Johnson all of a sudden is showing up. We know what they can do with Keenan Allen, Ladd McConkey. They get a running game and a defense that's there. And again, Justin Herbert, we keep saying, okay, Justin Herbert, talk about him, what he did. Look at his numbers here. For the season, 66%, 232 passing yards, 25 touchdowns, and 12 interceptions. But I love what he's done with his feet.
Yes.
When everything went down, those tackles went down, he took this team on his back. So these are two teams that are trending right now, under the radar, and they may be in that 7th, 6th, or 5th position that have to go on the road. So, yeah, you're right. I think this thing is wide open.
Talk about quarterbacks using their feet. Just about every quarterback, I believe every single quarterback that will be in the postseason in the AFC, we're talking AFC right now, can utilize their legs and be a complement to their offense.
Some have more experience than others.
Some are more experienced than others. And that's gonna be I think that will be the shift in which offense can perform most efficiently once the postseason comes around. And look at the playoff games for Herbert. I mean, you look at 2022 and 2024, both wild card matches. And listen, we've seen the good and bad of Herbert. But right now, I feel like he is playing his most confident version of football, and he feels like they have everything they need to move forward.
Yeah, but, we talk about the inexperienced quarterbacks like a Bo Nix or like a Drake May who are sitting at the top of the AAC right now. Patrick Mahomes was inexperienced at one point, too. Tom Brady was inexperienced at one point as well.
That's valid.
Drew Brees, you go down the list, Phillip Rivers, Aaron Rodgers. Everybody's inexperienced at some point. And there are certain guys, as the league start oh, sure.
Hey, now.
Yep, my bad.
Yeah,
as the league starts to shift. And
What happened over there? Is there something we ought to know about?
I think you missed something,
I slipped all my words, JB.
Sometimes the stuff like that slips out.
Oh, okay.
Literally.
As the league starts to shift. As the league starts to shift.
It's that time of year.
It is that time of the year.
Go ahead, Matt. Pick up.
So one of these spots. But as the league starts to change.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
And there are different places and different teams and different quarterbacks and head coaches that are starting to emerge as some of the front runners. New people take over.
Yeah.
New people start to do it.
That's a good point.
And
is this the year, though? That's the question.
Is this the year? That's the question. You said, is this a great opportunity for Josh Allen? Absolutely it is. But it's also a great opportunity for inexperienced guys, for guys that have not been there, to get that experience, to make a run, and to go win a championship.
I think the balance is going to be the telling tale with this, because like you talk about, the strengths will get you in there. They all have strengths. But the flaws that you have, can you mask them? And if you have enough defense, to me, to be able to mask those flaws and to buy time to get you through whatever that may be, at least have something you can lean on.
Yeah.
And I look at Jacksonville and I look at the LA Chargers. They can lean on that defense at times to get them through the periods of time that maybe the quarterback then can take over from there. I
agree with you, and I would include Denver in that category.
Yeah, I agree. And
I would include New England in that category. I would also include Houston in that category of can you hang your hat on a defense to go win you a ball game when you need to?
And I know we're talking about players and quarterbacks that might have experience or are going to have their first taste of the postseason. There's also some coaches that are going to be navigating these murky waters of the postseason as young head coaches, which means pressure will be on. You're also going to have to deal with clock management, situational football at its highest level. Yeah. So games will be decided by which quarterbacks step up, but also which coaches can withstand whatever the postseason throws at them.
Let me see if I can wrap the narrative up based on what our guy Matt Ryan was talking about. I think there's been an attitude shift as well with respect to one player that many people have been doubting whether he could get it done, that being Justin Herbert. You recall when he was injured, he was intent on playing that game because he wanted to prove to his teammates, also himself, that he could get it done. And guess what? He did. That could mean the difference, make the difference.
Good point.
Going into the postseason as well. Bill, you wanted to say?
No, that's it. I think you're spot on. I think we're talking about the AFC. Anybody that's in it, we even talk about Aaron Rodgers and Lamar Jackson.
That's right.
So yeah, and those two quarterbacks, one of those two is going to be in there too.
Yeah, those guys.
And we will have time to do that on YouTube, as we always do. Be sure to check us out on Sundays, the NFL Today, right here on CBS.